we came together in a partnership to respond to a real crisis in northeast Central African Republic, where nobody else was responding, where death rates from malaria and conflict were extraordinary, where almost no other NGO was able to access, and where we were being called to go by people on the ground desperate for help. UN Foundation really were fantastic, because you had the faith to come with us, you had the faith to take the chance and to make the risk, to put your funding support in behind us to help us get started in Central African Republic. And as a result, over the last 6 years of working together there, we've treated nearly 500,000 people. I think one of the reasons I love this job is because you see lives change and you see lives affected. And Central African Republic is one of the most challenging crises today anywhere in the world, and where UN Foundation and Mentor have had an enormous impact, both at a direct operational level and a political level and a leverage level for international funding, but most fundamentally in changing people's lives. And in the last 12 months, Seleka rebels have ripped the country apart and caused total chaos, destroyed all infrastructure, destroyed most agencies' ability to operate, and destroyed the lives and the physical communities in which people live, right across the northwest of the country, but many other areas too. And last year in April, they attacked villages very, very close to where we're based in the northwest of the country, around Pau. They burnt the village where Madame Bertha, one of many, many people affected by this crisis, live with her 7 children. And she fled into the bush after 2 of her brothers had been shot in front of her in the village. She fled with her 7 children. They fled as far into the forest as they could go, and the community fled with them. And they were living rough in the forest from April until the end of June. And the only reason we knew about Madame Bertha was because within that same community, one of our 105 supported malaria agents, community health workers, supported by UNF, lived with them. They came from that community, and when the community was attacked, they ran with that same community into the forest. So they ran with their backpack, with their drugs, with their rapid diagnostics, and when Bertha's youngest children fell very sick in the forest, with no infrastructure, no access to health facilities, those children were saved because within that displaced community was our malaria agent. They were able to diagnose the children's disease straight away, confirm they had malaria, and were able to treat them on the spot, rough in the forest. What motivates me personally to be part of the fight against malaria is that it's probably the most satisfying thing I could ever do in my life. I've got 4 children of my own. They're all happy. They've all grown up privileged, and they've all grown up. But if I had brought those children up in the places where I've worked, I would have lost one of them, and I don't think that's acceptable. I would have lost one to malaria. So I'm very passionate that the people I work with in Africa, people I work with in Asia that suffer malaria on a daily basis, and their children may get it 10 times a year, should not lose a child just because they're being infected with a disease that can kill them, when it's so treatable and so preventable. But the average American today can help by making themselves aware about the issue, not turning away, because if they turn away, somebody dies, and saving a life. Preventing somebody getting malaria, making sure somebody gets treated for malaria. We're talking tiny sums of money. If the average American all put $5 in, that would buy a net. If they put $10 in, it would buy a net and get it distributed. If they put in 30 cents, they could treat somebody and save their lives.